Ladies, welcome back to the Feminine Mystery. My name is Azalea Dawn, and today we have another skinny video. Now, this is something where I think it's such an important topic, but it's almost like the black sheep or like the elephant in the room. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody really wants to say anything, but we're all kind of wondering, okay, like what is actually going into being a certain weight, looking a certain way? I know you're not really eating as much as like you are, showing. So like what's going on? Are you on Ozempic? What's happening? I'm here to really talk about what needs to go on in order for you to start, making healthy, or if not healthy, at least skinny choices when you're going out to eat. And this is so important right now because, as I've mentioned a few times now, it is officially cuffing season. A lot of you are in new relationships, and one thing that people love to do as couples is go out to eat. It's one of the core activities. So you really do need to be very mindful when you're in a new relationship, especially because you're going to be going out to restaurants so often. You need to have a strategy in place to make sure that you can go out to eat without gaining a bunch of weight in the process. So today I'm going to be talking all about what needs to happen, what needs to go into it, the work that we need to do to make sure that we are skinny, or as skinny as we desire to be. Now, I've touched on this before, but I have successfully lost 40 pounds. Yes, seriously. And this is just a fraction of the work that goes into actually maintaining weight because, a vast majority of people, once they lose weight, they just start gaining it back really slowly over time. And it's almost like all that work was for nothing. So we're going to be talking about how you can either lose weight if that's what you're looking to do, or make sure that you're not gaining weight when you're out and about eating at these different restaurants over, the colder months. So let's get into it. And just as a PSA, again, if you're sensitive to these topics, maybe this isn't the video for you, but if you are interested, then keep watching. Now, when it comes to these skinny habits, I feel like the first thing that you have to do is decide once and for all that your looks are worth the effort. At the end of the day, you really can't serve two masters, as they say. You can't, be sometimes like, oh, okay, I want to lose all this weight, then other times, oh, it's fine. It just is whatever it is. Because then you're just going to go up and down and up and down. And if you are a woman, you have, hormonal fluctuations that happen quite often, especially if you're still getting your period. You're already going to be struggling with periods where you're gaining weight and losing weight anyways. So you don't need to add in extra, obstacles there by having this wavering, constantly one foot in the door, one foot out of the door, hot and cold kind of thing going on with yourself. You really have to be committed and decide once and for all that you being a certain way, looking a certain way, feeling good in your body, feeling confident, if you like to go to the beach and be in bathing suits, you want to be able to do that, right? Like, you have to decide once and for all that you are worth the extra effort, because it is going to constantly be work. It is going to be something that's constantly on your mind. It's not going to be something that you can just do it once and then never think about it again. Unfortunately, technology just isn't there yet. Somebody needs to get Elon on that. Unfortunately, but even Elon Musk, he was taking Wegovy, a form of semaglutide, to lose weight. So at the end of the day, it is something where we're constantly going to need to be paying attention to this, especially if we want to stay snatched, we want to stay skinny, we want to stay looking at this, and we have the genetics where we do need to pay attention to that. If that is the case for you, then you just need to reaffirm your own commitment and check in with yourself and be sure that you have both feet firmly in the door, that you are committed, you're willing to do what it takes, that you're not going to, suddenly have one foot in, one foot out, half hot, half cold. That's not what you want to do. You want to be fully committed to your looks and yourself. Next, we have to touch on what you're actually going to do when you're out at a restaurant and it's time to make a decision. And you need to assert what you want as if you're genuinely used to always getting it. This is one of those things where being delusional really, really does help you, because there's all kinds of people in the world who, unfortunately, they don't really want to make themselves better. If you're looking at self-improvement content, then you're probably somebody who likes to work on yourself and make yourself better. But there's a lot of other people who get their self-esteem self-esteem, their self-esteem needs met from making other people worse. So they may be, people who are struggling with their own weight, but instead of addressing that, they want to get you to eat. They want to have you constantly eating all this food. They want to make you gain weight and make you fatter. Maybe you have, somebody, like, let's say you're dating a new guy and he has like an overbearing mother or a very involved sister, something like that, who's socializing with you, she's going out with you, and she may not be overweight, but she's constantly trying to egg you into eating more and more and more. Or maybe you're just, a little shy, a little nervous about going out in public and saying, okay, I want a half portion of this, blah, 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 blah. The secret is to genuinely act as though you're used to always getting what you want, no matter how, ridiculous it seems or whatever. And this is very like rich bee energy, because a lot of, people, especially who grow up with a lot of money, are very, what other people would call, delusional. They just expect things to be a certain way and they're out of touch. And that is one of the things that people make it out as if it's a bad thing, but it's a really good thing, actually. It really shows the kind of like lane and the kind of treatment that you expect in a very strong way. So let's say you're out and about, you're at a restaurant and you want a half portion of something. First of all, you always need to be paying full price, because with restaurants, it's always about the money. Like, they want to charge a certain amount of money. So you don't want to be over here buying appetizers or anything like that. You want to tell them that you want a half portion, or even if you want to order something that's not on the menu, just because like it's, a skinny thing, ask them if they can do something that is not on the menu. You want to be surprised if somebody pushes back at you or says no. So if somebody tries to say like, oh, well, why would you do that? Oh, that's weird, we don't do that, whatever. Just act as though you're surprised. If somebody tries to be like, oh, why are you only getting half the portion? Are you not hungry? Do you not eat? Just act as though like you don't know like what they're talking about. Like, insist that like you eat healthy, normal portions for somebody who is your size and your weight, and you don't know what this other person is on. Be very confused and don't be afraid to push back a little, especially if somebody has a little bit of an attitude with you. You need to know how to retort to somebody, not in a confrontational way, just like you genuinely don't know what they're talking about. Now, sometimes in a relationship, you can be in a pinch where you have to get ready very quickly, and go out with, your new guy to a restaurant because he is hungry and he doesn't want to wait, 45 minutes for you to be in there with a curling iron, making your hair look, all nice and cute. He wants to go, he wants to eat, and he's hungry right now. So when you're in a hurry like that, one thing that can really help you is a great quality finishing oil for your hair. And my blended hair oil by my brand Azalea Dawn, which I sell on Amazon. You can check out in the link below in the description box. This is a great option for that, because instead of just sitting on top of your hair and making it look greasy and oily and a little gross, this is ultra lightweight. It's sorted by molecular weight, so it penetrates very deep into the hair follicles to make it so that your hair just looks good. In addition, it also has, a delicious spa-like but also a little foodie scent with a lot of that rich, dark, smoky vanilla with a little bit of sage in it. So even when he's walking past you, he's smelling your hair, it's not going to clash with food or anything like that. So if you need to get ready in a hurry, you don't want to keep your man waiting for 45 minutes, you got to put something together real fast. You can put this in your hair, throw it up in a bun, a claw clip, whatever you need to do, and be right out the door. So again, my brand is Azalea Dawn. You can check out my ultra lightweight blended hair oil in the description box below. We're available on Amazon. Let's get back into the video. Now, next, you need to prepare ahead to proactively be seeking out skinny options. The key word there is options, because at the end of the day, one of the things that is very important to understand is that a lot of men do not want to eat like, a 21-year-old girl in LA. They don't want to go to a vegan restaurant. They don't want to eat salads all day. They do not want to, go to this like salad bar or soup bar with you. They want to go to a place that serves meat, right? Especially steak or chicken, fish, whatever, beef, what things like that. That's what they want to eat, and they want it to taste really good. So you need to be looking for places that have skinny options. Options being the key word. That means that if your boyfriend, your husband, your man, whatever is going to get something, you can get something else. So you want to start to do that ahead of time. And that just involves doing your research. So even if you're single and you're not in a relationship right now, one thing that you can do is start looking up local restaurants in your area or in an area you'd like to date in where you can go and be eating out. Start to look at their menus online, look at what they're serving, and write down in like a notes app in like your iPhone or something like that. Just go in and start a list with the restaurant and what you would order if you're there. Not only is this a great skinny tip to make sure that you're always prepared and you're not relying on willpower at the last minute to make a decision, right? Because a lot of times you can get analysis paralysis, you can be overwhelmed looking at the menu and you can just order whatever without thinking. Instead of that, what I want you to do is really think ahead of time and just go ahead on a time when you have like a little extra time on like a Friday evening, whatever, if you're not going out that weekend, and start to make a list of what you would order if you were out at a particular restaurant that would be skinny, right? So do they have really good salads there? Do they have, pasta that you can get a half portion of? Whatever, what kind of drinks would you order? Do you want, maybe a white wine and ask for a light portion of that white wine? Go ahead and write all the things that you would order down to be as low calorie as you could realistically. Because not only is this a great tip to have you not be relying on willpower at the last minute or not be frantically looking up the menu in the car, it's also a great manifestation tip because it's like sending a bat signal out to the universe for any of you who are familiar with law of attraction. When you are preparing to go somewhere and eat, right, like you're putting all those plans into your phone like that, you're basically sending a PSA to the universe like you're going to be going there with somebody to eat. So that's a great way to start manifesting the kind of relationship that you would like now, even if you're currently single, and also be making plans to keep your waist snatched. Now, finally, ladies, remember to balance other areas of your life. This is one of those things where I think there can be this tendency to have an all or nothing attitude, but you really want to do away with that, especially in times like this. Let's say you have, like a bit of a bender, you make like a bad decision that night. Maybe like you're going to Outback Steakhouse with your boyfriend and you have like half of that blooming onion, a whole burger, all of the fries, you have dessert too, and in between all of that, you're washing it down with like 4 margaritas. You're just really going at it that night for whatever reason. What you don't want to do is turn around and go to Pilates the next morning thinking about what you did last night, acting like your workouts are some kind of punishment or some kind of, repentance for the wrongs that you have committed in the past. You don't want to do stuff like that. You literally, if you have a bad night or you make a poor decision or something like that, you want to literally just wipe the slate clean. Imagine, writing down what you did almost like it's a confession on like a whiteboard in your mind, then taking the eraser and just erasing it. Forget it even happened, right? This is very good, especially for A, manifestation purposes, and B, your general psychology, because you don't want to start to associate working out, taking care of yourself, etc. with punishment. You want to look at it as a reward, as a good thing, as something that you're doing to feed yourself, emotionally and physically in terms of your longevity. You want to look at this as something that is good for you when you are out there working out, not as, making it up for something that you did wrong or some sort of like punishment. So it's very important that when you are actually, going to work out, etc., that you wipe the slate clean and hold no record of wrong against yourself. So even if you're not eating the best, maybe you're not making the best choices, when you're out and about, still schedule the workout class, still go to the Pilates in the morning, still, take your cycling class, go for a walk, go do all those things, and don't make it about the fact that you did something else the night before or you did this in that period. You just want to make sure that you're getting back on the wagon as soon as possible. And this is a thing that, I really think like blocks a lot of of people from weight loss because almost anybody can lose 1 or 2 pounds. The issue is that people just they stop participating, they give up on it, and then they go right back to their old habits. That's what you don't want to do. You want to wipe the slate clean, forget that you ever did anything that was quote unquote wrong, don't hold it against yourself, and just get right back at it with the healthy habits, right? So this is so important for you. Now, ladies, that's going to be it for me in this video. If you've enjoyed it, then please leave a like below and check out the rest of the videos on my channel. There's one on the screen right now that I think you might really enjoy. I'll see you in my next video.